This is Rockslapping Champions. Player 1, playing Mengsk. We have Yeri. And player 2, playing Alrak. We have a barcode. So, right off the bat, I know who this barcode is because they submitted me the replay for this episode. This barcode player is actually Dr. Orgo. And he's not particularly well known in the general co-op community, but he is reasonably well known among the veteran players here. Dr. Orgo is responsible for a lot of the build orders that you see on Team Liquid guides and on Starcraft2co-op.com. He also had checked the build order theory guide on Starcraft2co-op.com before I released it, so he has done a lot of work for the co-op community. Very experienced player, and he is very scientific in his methodology. He calculates his build orders with extreme precision. Is one of the most experienced, very experienced player, and also a very good Alarak player. So that is who we are watching right now play, and one of the reasons why I wanted to show this play is because it's very rare to see a non-rock slapper Alarak. And you'll probably get to see a lot of the strategies that are used for reasonably high-level Alarak play here. So it's kind of a twofold thing. So you can see that Alarak has already used his overcharge to clear his expansion. So let's have a look at the masteries while the rest of these guys get set up here. Mengsk has gone for a 17-5 split and 22 points and 17-5 again. Generally, pick one or the other, and starting mandate is probably the most important breakpoint here to reach. For Alarak, he's gone for the Alarak attack damage, the empowerment duration, and he's gone into the 22-8 split into the overcharge and the chrono boost mastery. Now, this 22-8 split is a cutoff point. There is a breakpoint here, which allows the overcharge to completely clear an expansion rock perfectly, basically. So this was the old splits that were usually recommended. I usually now go straight for the 30 points here, but again, this is a highly optimized split here for Alarak, and this one is just basically perfect, clearing both the main rocks and the gas rocks as well. Alarak will be out in about 15 seconds, and we can see what Mengsk is doing here. He has a random Aegis Guard that he has used to try and clear his expansion in the process of the fast expand, which is why Alarak uses overcharge. I'm using this Marauder as well to clear this one rock here. He unloaded the troopers, but chose to not actually help that Marauder deal the damage to the rocks and rather just make his expansion. And Alarak now already ready with an empowerment. He's good. That empowerment might be a little bit unnecessary because he would have been able to one-shot the Reapers anyway. That guy is going to be working away on these rocks one by one, and he's going to be clearing rocks eventually. Now he's going to be waiting around. Let us see what's on the production tab. Mengsk is not producing anything right now, and he's producing a refinery, which is okay, I guess. Still no Imperial Witness, which is really important for Mengsk because he needs to get that mandate generation up, and he needs to get that up and running really quickly. Alarak is already rushing his way towards the Ascendants that he will be using to deal damage to these trains. And now Mengsk is starting to producing some more labors. He's working on his gas income right now. He's floating about 500 gas, but he seems to be showing no signs of stopping, and he just wants to build up as much gas as he wants, but again, he has nothing to deal with the first train. So Alarak will have to deal with that train by himself. And again, Alarak will usually has no problems dealing with this. He's put down a pylon right on the high ground there, and the pylon is going to get overcharged as soon as the train comes within range. And the pylon will be able to clean out the train with the help of Alarak as well. The Aegis Guard now has got into position, and now there is a bunker drop as well from the Mengsk ally to just help his Alarak ally out in taking out damage to the train. Overall, let us have a look at the train damage. Mengsk has dealt a total of 712 damage, and Alarak about 3,500 damage to that first train. And that one kill here from Mengsk was basically the Marauder dealing damage to the rocks and clearing out those rocks. That was the one kill that Mengsk has at the moment. It's still no more kills and no more repositioning of his guys anywhere. Finally, his Marauder tries to get into position, but again, he is in the wrong position because there is nothing else coming down that way anymore. The next attack wave will be coming in from the southern side here. Or from the northern side. Up, down, bottom right, left, top, all the same. This is Starcraft. Everything is everywhere all the time. And now Alarak is just going to cast one Destruction Wave and probably delete that Reaper Wave. Again, you can see a few more pylons coming down here for Alarak. And Alarak is going to be using these pylons to deal with the second train. Because notice his ally is not even unloading his bunkers. And there is still more harvesting over there. I think Alarak was pinging his ally, telling him to macro up. Build up some more stuff here, but there's no saturation. He's sitting at 16 out of 21 right now. This is the optimal mining rate. It's not the maximum mining rate, but it is, you know, it's close to the optimal mining rate, which I guess is okay. But, you know, since you're playing co-op, you can go a little bit higher. You can go up to about 19 workers and you still get some kind of economic benefit. We do have a shock division right now available for Mengsk, and that shock division is going to be joining the one bunker over here. What is Mengsk going to do? Is he going to sit back here? Almarak is on the front line and he's ready to basically deal damage to this train. The Ascendant's on the high ground as well, and as soon as this train wraps around the corner, these Ascendants are going to be able to snipe that train out. But okay, so the Siege Breaker and the Marauder are ready to deal with this next train over here, and Almarak killed the poor thing over here. What is wrong with you guys? Like, you and New Metal are both monsters for killing these poor critters. What is wrong with you monsters? But yeah, we have double overcharge now coming up for Alarak, and Alarak is going to end up deleting this. The siege, the shock division does end up sieging up, and you can see the damage output here from these ascendants. Alarak going to be moving and pushing these liberators back away from his army, and now he's going to end up deleting those liberator waves. And now finally the second set of mind blasts come out, and they will end up deleting this train. You just see the damage output here. 2 kills already on Mengsk. A whopping 2 kills from Mengsk. And 78 kills on Alarak. And Alarak is now getting ready to deal with this next attack wave that is coming up. He knows the wave timings and he knows where they are coming from. We finally have the Imperial Witnesses on this mineral line. And we have also... the siege up also on this mineral line. I wonder if the reason why Mengsk has not saturated his mineral line is because he knows that he's getting a movement speed buff.
Our allies are being
That might be a 500 IQ play. I still think you should probably go for a little bit more because movement speed buff is not that strong. It's not like Stetman's movement speed buff. When you're playing Stetman and you have the blue field, you can work at like 40. You can work around 15 to 16 workers and saturate your mineral line perfectly. But for Mengsk, that movement speed buff is not as pronounced, so you may want to have maybe just a little bit more, maybe about 17 to 18 workers to get really true mineral economy. But at that point, again, he's still not even using the mineral income that he has. We have 3 more bunkers now onto the bonus train line, and this shock division is coming. Oh, what are the units available? We have 2 shock divisions and 2 marauders here. Where are the other guys? Okay, these guys are going to be joining their fellow Royal Guard, and Alarak again going to be having to deal with the trains by himself. There's a Cyclone lock on here, but Alarak's Ascendant army is sitting on the high ground here, and Alarak is just going to be slowly poking in, just slowly weakening these units. And it turns out the Mengsk is also supply block right now. There's a random cannon on the front line here, just keeping Mengsk's base alive. And yeah, so now there is a double overcharge here. These double overcharges will end up cleaning out a good chunk of these units. Just see the damage output from these mine blasts here. Shock divisions they unsieged to move closer to the train so they could siege up, and the train ends up going down. Again, very interesting choice here from Mengsk. I'm not sure why he unsieged those shock divisions. The train would have actually gotten in range very soon. And now there are a bunch of hybrid destroyers here. So Alarak uses the destruction wave to try and push that into position. And Alarak's army is now, this army of Ascendants is going to be ready to deal with this bonus objective train here. And just see the damage output from these mine blasts. All mine blasts on rapid fire. Train actually does try and get stunned a little bit, but is that train gone right now? And Alarak has basically cleaned up the central camp that Amon is trying so hard to push into. What is on the production for Mengsk? Mengsk is not producing anything so far, which is okay. Or not okay, but interesting. Okay, so Mengsk has finally saturated that mineral line, and is he going to saturate this one? No, he's not going to saturate this one. And Alarak is going to end up just completely deleting this wave with his Ascendant Mine Blast over here. And one of these shock divisions are in deep, and Mengsk is not really interested in dealing with these Marines. He is more... Mengsk is doing like a pacifist run, I think, of Oblivion Express, because he's not killing anything. He feels bad for these Marines. I wish you guys felt bad for those critters that you keep killing. Orgo, Neo Metal. But we now have the next double train wave, or the first double train wave of this mission. And this train wave is going to be really scary for Mengsk, because Mengsk does not appear to have very much in line of an army that will be able to go toe-to-toe with this army that is coming up his way. And Alrak is going to have no problems because those Zen's are just basically going to delete pretty much everything here. Those shock divisions are moving down to the southern line here, and they want to engage this next train. Alrak uses his Death Fleet, and what is he going to do? Is he going to use an Empower Me? He's using an Empower Me with the no cooldown Alrak technique right there. There you go, that is pretty much perfect execution. Look at how often he's using his destruction waves. He just completely deletes that train without any hesitation. And Mengsk has basically retreated down to the back line to try and take out this next train. But you see Alrak just jumping forward, just completely wrecking everything that even looks at Alrak, and he has basically cleaned out those 2 train waves, and he's basically just laughing at Amon's army. Go back and watch this clip and just see how frequently he uses his destruction wave. That is the no cooldown Alrak technique in action and executed pretty much perfectly over there. So you might think I'm a little bit, going crazy about that because it's really rare to see this technique being used properly. Like, I can't execute it even that well. It does require a lot of practice, and it just goes to show how much practice Orgo has with Alrak. And now there is a nuclear launch on this. Is he going to move out of the way? Okay, there's a shock division that instantly just nopes its way out. But unfortunately, these guys, these laborers or these troopers are not going to be moved out of this bunker setup. And these troopers now are just chilling here right in the middle of a nuke. Mengsk has been reset back down to pretty much half the supply cap as he has supply right now. And all those guys end up going down. Alrak already in position to deal with this next wave. And Mengsk has basically ended up killing a total of 38 units. Oh, he has retaliated against Amon. He sent a Pride of Augustgrad right into the middle of Amon's base. It's like, hey, you have nukes? I have nukes as well. And I am just going to nuke your base right here. And basically achieving nothing because that Pride of Augustgrad now is just chilling in here. Just slowly try to kill some of this stuff out. Mengsk is angry with Amon and he has retaliated with his own nukes. But again, Amon does not really seem to care. We have a few ghosts here. They're trying to take out this Pride of Augustgrad. That's a 500 IQ play right there from the ghost. Alrak is going to be moving down towards its next trade. And yes, there are a few things that are being inhumane right now. These guys are going to just get attacked by these firebats, and the firebat actually does end up dying before it kills off that one trooper over here. But again, there is a ghost in cloak right now. And this Pride of Augustgrad might actually end up getting picked off on the next attack wave because nothing is being moved out of the way here. Is he trying to spawn camp the attack wave with one Pride of Augustgrad? I think that's what his plan is. This might not be very wise of an idea. There's another Thor here, and these guys are just weakening these Pride of Augustgrads right now. There's the Yamato cannon onto that one Thor, which is okay. But eventually, Pride of Augustgrad goes... Where did the Pride of Augustgrad go? There are a bunch of hybrid destroyers over here that are aggroing Alrak's pylons, and they are aggroing the bunkers from Mengsk. They use their lifty move onto these bunkers and onto these laborers, and these laborers, the troopers, and these troopers will end up dying as well. There's now a tactical jump, and the triple Yamato cannon actually does a good amount of damage and pretty much almost one-shots all of these hybrids, so Mengsk will be able to clean up this one hybrid, and then he drops a Zerg call down for some apparent reason that I am not aware of. He had that with the Pride of Augustgrad. I do not know why he's pushing into the side with the Zerg call down, and now these Cloak Banshees again are going to deal so much damage to the Zerg call downs, and now there is a tactical jump from these 2 Prides of Augustgrads. But again, I think we are at the point where there's going to be a double attack wave spawning, which means, or a double train wave spawning, which means that there's going to be a drop attack here, and these Prides of Augustgrads will be taking way more damage than they would want to take. There's again a few more missile turrets, Yamato cannon onto one of these Pride of Augustgrad, and this thing is going to deal in more damage as well. And now there is a double wave spawn here. Some secret missiles onto these units here. These Pride of Augustgrads are very vulnerable. One tactical jumps away here, and these liberators are just going to focus down the second one here because I think his tactical jump may be on a timer right now, so that one ends up dying right now. This guy has escaped with his life, but not before so many casualties. Alrak on the front line as well, just deleting everything. I'm not really interested in watching an Alrak just delete stuff. I want to see what Mengsk's plan is. He's moved his guys back here onto the high ground. He's taking a defensive position right now. Mengsk, Def, and Alrak attack. And that is what is going to be happening. Again, just Alrak is completely deleting this attack wave very, very quickly. And now Alrak is going to turn his attention towards the middle train. is on the way. Again, more photon overcharges, and Alrak is just going to jump forward and use his destruction waves with his Empower Me to basically just wipe out this entire train. All that is left now is to deal damage to this last train, and there's going to be a bunch of Mind Blasts from these Ascendants, and the train will end up going down. There is one more bonus train on the way here. I do not know if Alrak wants to deal with it. Is he going to move in and try and clear that train out? I think he will be, and that Pride of Augustgrad already ready to deal some more damage over here. We have Yamato cannons on here, and Alrak is just basically, just see how quickly that train just melts here. Alrak pings his ally, tells his ally to go and deal with this upper attack wave. I do not know if that is a wise idea, but there is now a tactical jump here from the Pride of Augustgrad. And where are... Okay, so he still has the siege breakers and stuff over here, but now there's an attack wave, and that Pride of Augustgrad has realized it is outnumbered, and what is going to happen here? Yamato cannon, more Yamato cannons onto this Pride of Augustgrad. Still, there's no nuke use. He has the nuke available. He could have used one nuke here and completely wiped out the entire attack wave, and now Mengsk's bunker is in huge trouble, and now he finally decides to use the wrong call down. He uses the Zerg call down to try and deal with this, and the Zerg call down is going to get completely shredded by that attack wave because the attack wave is really strong. He could have just used a nuke there and just completely cleared out everything that is left, but that Zerg call down now has just been completely expended. And again, there's another Pride of Augustgrad moving into position. Some more Cyclone lock-ons over here, but that Pride of Augustgrad is also going to end up getting shot down. And Alrak's Nexus is in trouble right now, but Alrak does not care very much because that Nexus is basically... This is the last train, and Alrak has way more than enough army to be able to deal with this. We have a few siege tanks that are trying to get sent. Siege tanks and Marauders trying to get sent to the battle cruiser to deal with the battle cruiser that is attacking Alrak's base. But finally, that battle cruiser ends up getting cleared out by Alrak's photon overcharge. Mengsk is completely out of position right now, and Alrak is just waiting for his train to get into position before he ends up sniping that last one. Just look at these Ascendants. These things have like 8-9 stacks of power overwhelming. They just one-shot pretty much everything over here. There's a little bit of an aggro over here, and now Mengsk wants to engage this entire train escort with his siege tanks, and he's just fighting inside these liberation zones, and he is just gonna get completely wiped by the liberators. That one siege tank escapes with his life sitting at 58 HP. Is that ghost gonna kill off that? That ghost is totally gonna kill off. That ghost is gonna kill off that siege tank. Oh, that siege tank actually escapes right there. That siege tank has actually managed to escape the onslaught of Amon's army, and he's sitting on the back line now. He's like, okay, yeah, I'm done. And finally now Alrak is gonna move forward and just basically end up deleting the rest of the escort waves that are here. And the siege tank actually ended up dying. The siege tank actually, oh no, it's here, never mind. The little siege tank that could, he ends up surviving at the end, but those are all the trains gone, and 127,000 damage dealt with Alrak, and that is GG.